Hey scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a single page in my Life Crafted album. This is going to be the intro page to my fourth album. I believe it's going to be the intro page, maybe not, but probably. I have an old Cocoa Daisy 12 by 12 paper from way back when, and I have created this cut file that says I blinked. And all I did was create it in my Silhouette and then use my what did they call it? Oh my gosh. Scoreboard, haha, my scoreboard to score it at 5 inches because the dimensions of the Life Crafted album are 8.25 by 5, so that I have this flap that closes over. And now I'm going to glue it down to this other portion of the paper that I cut out that has this writing on it because I did not want that bright red stripe to be behind the I blinked part. I wanted it to be more neutral, but a happy accident was that I cut that paper a little bit too big, so I had that red stripe along the edge of the flap, and I kind of loved it, so I didn't bother to cut it off. So I'm going to take my liquid glue and I'm going to glue down all of these little flippy flappy bits. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adhere my journaling on the inside of the flap. So I printed out my journaling, the appropriate size for the inside of the flap, because it was a nice long journaling. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough room, so I printed it out. And the journaling is about, this is a photo of, the photos I'm using are going to be of me and my oldest at 3 months old and 17 on their 17th birthday. And so it's going to be about how I blinked and all of a sudden my baby is 17, almost an adult. And the things I would tell my 19-year-old self holding that 3-month-old baby about how things were going to turn out and how everything was going to be okay. Because as you can imagine, having a baby at 19, especially a baby that turns out to be autistic, which we didn't know at the time, but had a lot of sensory issues. So we are having a lot of struggles when my oldest was only 3 months old, and it was a lot of long nights. And so having a baby, a special needs baby at 19 was scary. And so it's kind of a letter to myself about how did we get here and how everything was going to be okay. Just breathe. Everything's going to be fine. And don't blink again because you blinked and now your baby is 17. So I'm using a bunch of stash. I obviously use that Cocoa Daisy paper, but these florals are from an old Cocoa Vanilla Studio line. That Grow and that Heart are both Cocoa Daisy stash. And then I had that frame and a doily, and I'm keeping it fairly simple and neutral because I really, really wanted it to be sort of nursery vibes. You know how you have beautiful like neutral nurseries? That was kind of the vibe I was going for. So that's kind of where I wanted to stay. I didn't want to bring in too much color. I'm going to add a title, and it's going to say, Look at You Grow. That's what it's going to say all together. This is an old Cocoa Daisy set of alphas that were nice and neutral gray. And then I also am going to bring in a sort of teal alpha that's going for the look at, a smaller one. I wanted to make sure that the alphas had variation because that bottom part is obviously different than the U. The Grow and the U are different, so I wanted to make that look more purposeful and really lean into it with a different alphabet for the look at. So I am going to grab a teal, tiny, like puffy alpha, if I can ever get everything put down appropriately. You can see I auditioned a few different alphabets, but I decided to go with the teal because I thought it was the most neutral. So now it says Look at You Grow. It's actually just about done, but I've decided that it's too low. It's not centered enough on the vertical axis for me, and it's kind of really annoying me. So I decided to pull everything up and move it up vertically. That's of course after I get the rest of this stuff put down because I'm annoying that way. I'm gonna add in a few more layers. but I decided to lift everything up and move it up vertically, which of course rips the doily, so I'm going to have to reapply a doily, but I have a bunch, so it's not a big deal. So I'm going to just pull this up very carefully, and then I'm going to move everything up so that it's more vertically centered. There we go. Add in a couple of hearts, and we are good to go. Yeah, I really love the way this came out. It was really simple. This is a super short video because it was so quick. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well, and I will see you next time. Thank you.